Hey guys, welcome back to another One Piece review. This is going to be chapter 151 Rampage. It's probably going to be a shorter review today because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch, but let's just jump right into it. So we actually get a color spread for the One Piece Stampede movie. I'm pretty excited about it. It comes out this week. It has all of the warlords and a bunch of different people in it, a bunch of marines and things. So CP0, I think I'm pretty excited for that. So the chapter starts off back at the Flower Capital. We get Lord Orochi screaming at Roku Fukuju, the leader of his ninja army, because he says that he let the Straw Hats get away, and he's pretty pissed off about that. But Roku Fukuju does say that there's a silver lining in it, that they caught Law, which we saw at the end of last chapter, but I'm pretty sure Law still has a plan there, so I'm not too worried about it. We then have Orochi asking what the state of the whole country is, because there was a pretty large scandal that just happened at the execution of Yasue and the mourning, I guess, of Komurasaki, except we don't really see any of that. It was mainly just about Yasue's execution. But basically, Roku Fukuju says that the country is on high alert and that the samurai, the Mimawaragumi, or it's like a old school Japanese police force that they had a long time ago, they've been dispatched and are kind of keeping order. We then see a bunch of the Straw Hats have new wanted posters in Wano. They're all in Japanese art style, though. We cut to Sanji and Shinobu sitting on top of roof, kind of surveying the area, taking a look at all of the prisoners in the prisoner gallery, saying they should have been deemed innocent by now because of what Yasue said. We cut to some of the guards that are watching over the prisoner gallery, saying that they are agreeing with him, but they're not going to disobey Lord Orochi because he's so paranoid and on high alert as it is after the prophecy of Lady Toki. Sanji wonders why they're even still continuing with preparing for the Fire Festival. Kind of seems like after everything that just happened that they wouldn't be in the spirits to celebrate and everything, but Shinobu says no, it's actually kind of an interesting thing, because the Fire Festival isn't about celebrating, just for a party. It's actually the celebration of life and the people that have lost their lives recently, so they're even more invigorated and excited to celebrate, considering they want to celebrate Yasue's life after Lord Orochi executed him. And it's pretty funny, we get these new wanted posters that are kind of like in this Japanese art style. I kind of want to say that Sanji's isn't that great looking, kind of keep up with the shtick that all of Sanji's wanted posters are pretty bad, but his is actually pretty funny. What I do think is pretty funny, though, is that the wanted poster for Beppo just says White Bear on it, because they're Wano's an isolated country. They've probably never seen any minks or anything, let alone a walking polar bear. So they're probably freaking out about that. And then we cut to the outskirts of the Flower Capital, where Nami is talking with Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin. Apparently they got released from prison, so that's good. They actually tell him that they escaped, except they didn't actually escape, as we see later on in the chapter. But they do give a modified picture that shows the plans of the raid of Onigashima that was written in like symbols and code. It's modified now. Apparently Yasue added 2 lines at the inside of the diagram to change the meaning of it. Clearly, we don't know what it means, if they changed where they're meeting or what time they're planning on attacking Onigashima, or during the Fire Festival. Yeah, so Nami has to get that to Kinemon as soon as possible, so she leaves with Frankie on some weird, motorcycle elk thing. I'm not really sure. We have Beppo remembering what happened for their escape at the prison gallery. It's kind of strange, because Hawkins says even though that Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin are a part of Law's crew, that he would still attack him and, in essence kill them just so that he could defeat him, because Hawkins has the ability to store other people's lives in his body, and whenever he gets injured or hurt, he can just expel them, so the damage gets reflected on them. So he's implying that even though they're all a part of Law's crew, that he would still attack them just so that he could beat him. I don't really think that's the case. I think that Law cares a lot about his crew. I'm not sure why Hawkins would say that. It's kind of strange to me. But we see Hawkins expelling all 3 Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin's dolls or lives out of his body, and Law gives himself up willingly, essentially. He tells all 3 of them not to tell Luffy or any of the Straw Hats, because they'll probably, if they found out that he was being captured or taken, that he would go and run off, and they would all try and save him, which would be counterproductive to the plan that they already have. They only have like 1 more week to prepare for the Fire Festival, so I think Law has an idea on how to escape. I think that he's probably cooking something up there, and he'll make it out himself. But yeah, we do see that it does cut back to Beppo and the rest of Law's crew, and they're talking about what they should do, and apparently that Law is more important to them than the plan to defeat Kaido and save Wano, which makes sense. So I'm pretty sure that they're still going to find something to do. They're probably going to try and get Law. I'm not sure how it'll work out, though. We then cut back to Ebisu Town, where we see, it's kind of morbid, actually. Kanjuro is holding the dead body of Lord Yasuie, and he's telling all of the people of Ebisu Town that have eaten the smile fruit, so they're like crying, but they can't actually show negative emotions, so they have to be laughing the whole time. He's telling all of the residents of Ebisu Town that he'll find a nice resting place for Yasuie. I'm not sure where it will be. It might be back where he was reigning over as a daimyo. I'd imagine that's probably where I'll take him, back to the Ringo region, I believe it was. But then we cut back to the flower capital, where Usopp, Robin, and Brook are they're trying to board a boat. They're actually being questioned if they're some of the people from the Wanted poster from the raid that happened in the center of the flower capital yesterday. And they have the sketches of the Wanted posters, and they're all doing the face that they made earlier in at the end of Act 1. So they're like, okay, you guys aren't the ones that we're looking for. And then one of the guards turns to another one. He's like, let him by. There's a ghost chasing them. So Brook is kind of like floating behind them and haunting them. It's kind of pretty funny. And they set off onto a ship. I'm not sure where they're headed. The Curry region, I think they're headed. So probably back to Kozuki Castle. That's probably where they're headed, back to meet up with Kinemon and everybody. Speaking of Kinemon, we cut back to the Curry region, where Ashura Doji shows them the abandoned port that has a crap ton of boats in it. Like, Ashura Doji spent his entire 20 years waiting for everybody to show back up, collecting these broken vessels and all of these busted up ships, so that whenever they would show up after the 20 years, that they could use it to raid Onigashima. So Kinemon says that he will get Frankie to work on them right away, fixing them up and everything, make them all spiff and span, so that they can transport all of their samurai that they just recruited back to Onigashima for them whenever they raid during the Fire Festival. And it's kind of funny. Kinemon says, I'm finally starting to see the final pictures of this raid. And you know what, Kinemon, I've got to agree with you. I wasn't sure how this thing was all shaping together until right now. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens. We then cut to probably the biggest part of the chapter, which is we cut to Onigashima, and we see all of Kaido's crew, all of the Beast Pirates. They're like making up all of this food and stuff, and they're making it and giving it to Big Mom, and they're kind of freaking out. They're like, she's still eating. I can't believe it. We can't make enough. She's just eating everything. And they're like, we have to get more sweets anyway. King says, he's surprised. He says, I definitely pushed her off of that waterfall. How is she still alive? And Queen kind of freaks out. He's like, King, you bastard, how dare you do a half-assed job? I don't know, Queen. King kind of smashed the hell out of the rest of the Big Mom pirates. I think he did a pretty good job. Big Mom kind of gets a little boisterous. It's like, King, yes, I'll let you join my crew if you let me out of these shackles right now. There's only 3 races that I don't have missing from my country, and you're one of them. So I'm not sure. I think that King's probably a Shandorian. He looks like he has the wings of the people of the Sky Islands. I don't remember seeing any Shandorians on Totland during the Whole Cake Island arc, so that could be why, but King obviously being the directly under Kaido, the biggest calamity, is like, no, I'm not going to do that. So, and then Big Mom just says, okay, fine, we'll take these chains off anyway. And Queen kind of freaks out about that. It's like, I can't believe you could ask something like that so casually. And then Kaido finally shows up and it's like, oh, you finally showed up, Lin Lin. And Big Mom's like, I can't believe you can hold me like this. I told you to take these off of me, these cuffs. And all of the Beast Pirates are like, there's no way in hell we're taking those off. But Kaido tells them to take them off. And they start freaking out. They're like, what, are you serious? And he says, I said take them off. So they undo Big Mom's chains, and then you see her pull out Napoleon, and she actually talks to Napoleon. She's like, oh, you're back to normal after losing her memory and everything, getting it back. And Napoleon's like, yeah, I'm kind of shy around strangers, so I didn't want to come out. But we see Big Mom and Kaido take a swing at each other. Big Mom obviously using Napoleon, and Kaido using his humongous club, and they clash together and the heavens separate, just like we saw during the Shanks and the Whitebeard clash. So clearly this is showing the strength of a Yonko to each other. The last panel is kind of funny. It's like Onigashima screaming, except it's already like a skull, so it would usually have its mouth open and everything, but it's in this one it's like completely screaming. So I don't know, I think that's pretty funny. But anyway, guys, that was a pretty good chapter, I'd say. I liked it a lot. I liked the... it seems like we're kind of wrapping up Act 2, kind of getting ready for the end of Act 2. I hope that Oda does what he did last time, where after the act break, we have like a nice little round-the-world filler. Well, not really filler, obviously, but round-the-world peek in to see what everybody else is up to. At the end of Act 1, we got that stuff with Blackbeard, which was really awesome. I want to see something else like that. And then whenever Act 3 kicks off, I think we're going to hit the ground running, and it's going to be a lot of battles. We got a lot of battles set up coming here, which I'm pretty excited to see. Anyway, sorry for the short review today, guys. Like I said, I was on a bit of a time crunch. But yeah, I had a good time, and catch me back next week. Actually, we won't catch me back next week because Shonen Jump is on a full jump break. So I won't be having any One Piece reviews or any manga reviews up next week. So just look forward to my movie review next week. I'm not sure what's coming out. I'll have to figure that out whenever we get closer to it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to another One Piece review. This one's going to be Chapter 151 Rampage.